hope the relevant committee will take it up and make sure that the rules are amended appropriately. Also, the provision on the withdrawal of candidates is not clearly stipulated. The committee has recommended that that be looked at. Mr. Speaker, many people have talked about competence, but I think one important qualification is that those who come near the borders should be considered. For example, those who come near the border, like Victoria and Tanzania, or Western and Uganda, and those who come from northern part of Kenya with Somali, those who come from Turkana with the southern Sudan, they must be considered because those are people who go through challenges which needs to be addressed under the framework of IALA. So I recommend that we vote for individuals who come from regions which have challenges with the borders and with the East African community. I also encourage members, please vote according to your own conscience. We are told that some people will go to a PG and a list will be given to them. I think this country is democratic. Let people vote freely and vote for the people they want to vote for, and not to be coerced to vote for particular individuals because the party has given them direction to do that. We must exercise democracy.
Senator Onsotsi, your time is up, Senator. Thank you. Thank you. The Honorable Senator Veronica Duarte. Your microphone is off, Senator.
There is a problem. Okay, now that's okay. Mr. Speaker, sir, I first want to thank the Joint Committee for the good job they have done and presenting the report that has been brought to the floor of the House. Mr. Speaker, sir, all the candidates who have been shortlisted in that report should be considered as equal and qualified to serve and fit to serve within the East African Legislative Assembly. The fact that a candidate has not served in any parliament before should never act as a bar towards them ascending to the East African Legislative Assembly. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would urge members to vote guided by their own conscience, knowing that the list of the members who should be voted in to serve in that assembly should, number one, have a diversity within the Kenyan communities. It should also take into account gender considerations. It should be balanced in terms of gender. And I would actually encourage the members to consider this time around accepting women more, much more women than men, because all the other parliaments have more men than women. Thank you.
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuunga mkono ripoti ambayo imeletwa bungeni ya uteuzi wa wagombea wa ubunge wa East Africa Mashariki. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hakika wote ambao wameteuliwa ni watu ambao wana tajiriba, lakini ni vizuri tuchague watu ambao watakuwa na uwezo wa kusongeza mbele bunge hili la East Africa. Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiangalia katika zile taasisi za bunge za East African Cooperation, mahakama ya East Africa, Mheshimiwa Spika, imefanya maamuzi ambayo yamesaidia masuala ya haki za binadamu na masuala ya human rights katika maeneo yetu kwa sehemu kubwa kuliko yale ambayo yameweza kufanywa na bunge hili. Na yote imetokamana na masuala kwamba wale wanaokwenda kutuwakilisha ni watu ambao wanakwenda kutafuta kazi, sio watu wanaokwenda kuangalia yale masuala ambayo yanaangaziwa na bunge hili. Mheshimiwa Spika, nimebahatika kusafiri kwenda Zanzibar na Pemba mwezi uliokwisha, na nikaona kwamba kuna mambo mengi ambayo bunge hili linaweza kuangazia ili kurahisisha biashara baina ya Kenya na Tanzania, ama biashara baina ya nchi tatu nchi saba za Afrika Mashariki, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo wale ambao tutawachagua, Mheshimiwa Spika, siku ya Alhamisi, lazima wawe ni watu ambao wana maono ya kupeleka bunge hili mbele, sio kutafutia watu kazi. Hata kama mtu ndio mara yake ya kwanza kuchaguliwa Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini ikiwa ana maono ya kupeleka bunge hili mbele, anafaa kupewa kazi hiyo. Kuna wengi ambao wamechaguliwa na Mheshimiwa katika bunge hili la Senate mwaka huu hawajakuwa maseneta, lakini tumeona zile kazi ambazo wameweza kufanya zinaridhisha kwamba wamechaguliwa kusaidia nchi hii kwenda mbele. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also like to support. We know that when we talk about East African community, the thoughts of Pan-Africanism are allied. I would wish to ask the members also, when they go to elections, that they should look, and I want to repeat this, look at people who will be able to put the face of Kenya in that parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all members in this committee who assisted me as a co-chair to make this report. And Mr. Speaker, my apologies to the House. I was not there, and Senator Beatrice Ogola was very kind to move it on my behalf. Mr. Speaker, I had to go to my county having a visitor in the name of Bill Gates, who one time when in Seattle going as parliament, I visited his office, made an invitation, and luckily he came to Kenya, and therefore my apologies to the House. The main issue in this particular report we found could be ideal for consideration in future. First of all, whatever happens to a single state happened to all member states. And secondly, one time when this process was abused by the state of Kenya, there was a court case at the Eastern African Court of Justice. And I was lucky to be one of the lawyers there. And the court directed and ended up with what we have now. That's why we have to choose out of three. Instead of select, there has to be an election, Mr. Speaker. But then we have to balance gender, youth, and also continuity, Mr. Speaker. One of the problems with the Kenyan election has been that we remove everybody, and then we have no institutional memory in Yela. So I'll urge members while making a vote